Powered by Riverside.
It's the Dynasty front office, and we are building you championships one trade at a time.
I'm your host, Mike Casper, and today we are going over our 2026 Rookie Prospect Profile of the Week. How you guys doing? Ready to talk some tight ends?
Yeah, man, let's do it. That's my boy.
How are you?
Zeke.
Oh, I'm just peachy. happy to be here. Happy to be home in America again, man. All right. Yeah. So we're going to go over the presumed tight end one of the class, Kenyon Sadiq.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, okay. Oh. There we go. Oh, all right.
Okay.
All right.
We'll get to that later.
Get to that question. All right. So, Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon. He's 20, but by the time he's drafted, he'll be 21 years old. 6'3", 245 pounds. He's a junior, played 3 years, didn't play a whole lot his first year. In 2024, he had 24 receptions, 308 yards, 2 touchdowns. And last year, he had 51 receptions, 560 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Jesse, tell me what you've seen in the film. What do you like about Sadiq? Maybe what are his flaws?
Yeah, man. Love Kenyon Sadiq. So, physical freak. First of all, he's athletic freak. He's going to test really, really well. Can't wait for the combine to see his numbers. He's going to run fast, and he's going to jump high. So, the agility drills he'll be really good in as well. He's got great hands. He seems to have good instincts on where to find the holes in the zone, settle down. But he can definitely outrun a linebacker or a safety as well. So he's a mismatch with a corner physically. It's going to be really tough to cover him in the NFL. Like I said, the hands are really good. As far as running routes and separating from players, it's not really what he was asked to do at Oregon. So he's going to be raw in that aspect, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think that there's going to be plenty of things that he can do in the NFL that are going to make him an elite tight end. Really what surprised me when I put on the tape was his blocking. So his run blocking especially, he'll stick his nose in there. He does not care. He knows that he can get it done because of his physical attributes.
He knows. Nice.
Yeah, he definitely knows. Yeah, you can see it. You can see the confidence that he has in his blocking as well. So he wasn't asked to pass block a whole lot. So I'm not sure that he could take on a defensive end and sustain a block on a player like that. But to chip and then, run out, absolutely. He can do that. And he, like I said, in the run game, he's an asset. You brought it up before we started recording, Mike, but Matt Harmon and JJ Zacharyson had a conversation, and they were talking about on Reception Perception last week, and they were talking about how the league is going a lot more towards 12 personnel, and you see a lot more 2 tight end sets. Tight ends are asked to run block and to run out and catch passes. So this is a perfect type of player for that. So he's not just the Sam Laporta that you're going to split out into the slot and have just like a big slot. He's more they lined him up in line, in the slot, and on the boundary at different times during the game. I'm not really sure that I saw him get the ball when he was on the boundary, but in the slot for sure. So he's a versatile kind of guy. I would say the flaws are just really lack of experience, lack of usage, really. Like I said, he's going to be raw running routes. He doesn't have a whole lot of production. So some of this is projection, but he's going to go in round 1. So to me, I have him as he could go anywhere from 103 to 106 in a rookie draft for me right now.
Okay.
Depending on team need.
Nice. What about you, Austin? Anything to add or take away or counter argue?
I agree with what Jesse said on projected rookie draft price point. And I started, being a little facetious saying not the tight end one, and he still is currently because of the ceiling. I was trying to think of kind of a mold of what I felt with him, and it kind of all came from one class, which kind of shows a possibility of a floor to what we're hoping is a possibility of a ceiling with O.J. Howard, Evan Ingram, and David Njoku. He's kind of in that same athletic mold for all three guys. Now, O.J. Howard was such an elite blocker coming out that he ended up getting that role almost exclusively in the NFL. We're not going to see that with Sadiq. But if he feels like one of those athletic guys that if he goes in the right offense has a high-end fantasy ceiling.
Yeah.
And any team can use him. I mean, even somebody that has a good tight end can still use him because of what he brings. As Jesse mentioned, that they did line him up out wide, in the slot a ton, in line. As Jesse said, he doesn't have great routes, but he does enough with his hands to use his contested catch ability to be open when you don't think he is. So, if he can get with a quarterback that's not scared to throw it in a tight window, he's going to succeed. He has amazing hands, but he also had concentration drops. He caught the ones you didn't know how anybody would catch, and then you would see him drop the ones that any good tight end catches. So that's a little concerning, but at the same time, it's a 20-year-old in college. You're going to see some of that. You expect as he develops and refines his craft, that improves. But yeah, I mean, I've been on him since I think I brought him up in like October about how excited I was for him. I mean,
you mentioned it. Yeah.
Definitely
That's when I started looking. So
yeah, I mean, he's definitely exciting, and his ceiling is, extremely high given his athletic measurables. I mean, he is going to test out this. I mean, it's going to be absurd. You want him to go somewhere that's not scared to throw him the ball if he doesn't have 2 yards of separation, because we probably won't see a ton of that.
Okay.
Right.
Is there anywhere you guys would love to see him play? Maybe just taking that into account.
So I had the draft order pulled up. I was trying to see a realistic area, and it kind of feels like the floor is like 13 to the Rams.
Really?
You think they go tight end again? Really? I think they.
I mean, they didn't. Yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. They don't, I mean, I guess if
they just drafted Ferguson,
that doesn't. I mean, they ran 13 personnel more than anybody in the league last year.
Yeah. And, I mean, they can't.
And they don't have a Sadiq.
Yeah.
Well, Ferguson was the most athletic tight end in last year's class.
That was my guy last year in that core. I'm with you, but they're totally different players.
They are. You're right. But if you're talking about if they have a type, athletic tight end, you could be right.
Yeah, okay. That's why I said floor. I mean, you look at Miami, look at Cincinnati, Kansas City. I mean, even Washington, all those places feel like somewhere that could use a playmaking tight end, and those are all before the Rams at 13. That's kind of why I say a floor. Given this class and how there aren't many blue chip prospects, we could absolutely see this guy flirt with a top 10 pick.
Wow. See, I was thinking he was going to go a little later, and I had the Niners in mind, actually.
I was hoping the Broncos would trade up for him. So now you really dashed my hopes, Austin.
I don't see it, man. There's not enough wow players in this class. And I think given what we expect Sadiq to test at, it's going to really shoot him up a lot of draft boards, not to mention the contested catches are some of the craziest catches you'll see from a bigger player. I mean, it's like, how does anybody catch it? And here he is bringing it down time and time again.
This draft class is weird. Outside of defensive end, it's strong.
Inside linebacker.
Inside linebacker just fits what I was about to say, though. Like, outside of defensive end, it's all the positions that teams don't value highly.
Yeah, fair.
There's a running back, there's a safety. There are a lot of defensive ends, and there's some inside linebackers. It's a funky class for sure.
It really
is. Tight
is.
Ends.
We're definitely going to see a lot of round 1 picks in the NFL side that are going to be like, wow, I did not see that coming. And we're going to see a couple players. Like, I just saw a report saying that Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs are projected to make it outside the top 10 because of positional advantage. Which those are absolutely 2 of the top 10 best players in this class, talent-wise.
Yeah, talent-wise. But their position isn't the
correct.
Someone's going to get such a bargain on Caleb Downs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they see players like Kyle Hamilton make such a difference that they don't mess that up again.
Right. Or Eman Worry for Seattle
absolutely,
has been a monster.
So we'll see, but it's Sadiq feels like a guy that's a top 15 lock is kind of what I was getting at this point in this class.
Wow.
All right. If we go back to, last year's tight end class, and obviously not what, Loveland and Gadsden and them have actually done this year, but as a prospect, where would Sadiq kind of rank for you if you think back to where these
probably third
last year? Okay. Behind Warren and Loveland. Okay.
Yeah, because there's so much of it is projection. Although Loveland was in that bucket as well last year.
Yeah, so, Loveland's route running was so good though.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He's nowhere near the blocker of
correct.
Sadiq.
But I don't care about that as fantasy side of things. Especially now, like you said, they're using so much two tight end. They can have a receiving tight end and a blocking tight end out there at all times.
Yeah, that's true. The thing that scares me about him, I guess I'd have him third. It's because it's so much projection. Yeah. When you start talking about that, it's eerily, he is eerily similar to that class you were talking about. If you get the Njoku outcome, great. If you get I guess Evan Ingram's had a couple good years, but overall, very disappointing player.
Ingram's thing was drops. That was all it was. I mean, he was a really good player at getting open.
Yeah.
I mean, he used his athletic ability great. I mean, he was a successful tight end. He just caught, the wrong passes at times.
And then O.J. Howard was an athletic freak as well. I guess he just really couldn't.
Yeah. Never put it together.
Yeah.
So that's.
But it just scares me it does scare me a bit when a player didn't do it in college. Like he did it, but he didn't put up flashy numbers at all at any point. So it's if you expect him to do more in the NFL, yes, absolutely can happen. But that's what gives me pause. And that's why he would be behind Warren for sure. And probably just behind Loveland.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Yeah. Warren's which he was last year, a clear tier above those guys. And then him and Loveland would be neck and neck.
Yeah.
Okay. I know, Jesse, you mentioned 103, 106 range and a tight end premium. Austin, do you see him maybe going in that range too, or maybe later?
Absolutely. Especially if he gets the draft capital. I was just projecting, and don't let him go to a high-powered offense. He's going to, especially those 0.75 leagues, he's going to flirt 103 consistently, I feel like.
If he goes to the Chiefs, I have a feeling it'll be over.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to be crazy. Or Cincinnati. I mean, that's another realistic.
Yeah, it's another realistic. Gosh, come on, Denver. Just
good luck, buddy. Right? Good luck.
I mean, if he starts falling down that far, he could go to the Eagles.
Well, I hate to break it to both of y'all, but the Panthers need a tight end, and they're at 19, so don't think so.
Is there anywhere you wouldn't like to see him go that you're just like, oh man, this would kind of tank him to the end of the first? Or
Jets?
Well, the good news is they have 2. And then what's the other pick? 16 is pretty realistic.
They just drafted Taylor, though.
Yeah, so. I don't think so. They have so many needs. I don't see them using it on another tight end. But yeah, that would be less than ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see Greg Roman is linked to them?
Oh.
He's a finalist. I think he's one of 2 finalists. I actually, Greg Roman does nasty things to fantasy wide receivers. So I would love it for Garrett Wilson, but I think depending on who the quarterback is, I don't know. I think the Jets need an adult professional to run their offense, and he is that. So
yeah,
it would be interesting to me.
I would be very sad for my Garrett Wilson shares, though.
Yeah, that would be.
It would be scary.
Who just even knows how that works?
Jesse, do you have anybody close to Sadiq, or have you gotten far enough to feel that way?
Yeah, I like Stowers and Roush are the 2 that I've seen so far.
Is that who?
Okay. Roush got great reports out of the Senior Bowl, so that's really what I'm basing him on. I haven't looked at his film yet, but yeah, definitely Stowers. I'm into.
My other one's Max Clare from Ohio State. Speaking of projection, there's a huge amount of projection, but his efficiency and skill set, he'd likely be I would assume, an early second in the NFL draft.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Well, maybe Denver gets him. We need someone. All right. Cool. Any other big flaws or anything else you guys want to say about Sadiq to wrap him up?
No, I'm excited. I mean, he is going to test out of this. Like it could be a top, like 99 percentile tight end testing score when we're done. It won't surprise me. I am worried if he doesn't come in above 6'2". That is, listed at 6'3", 245 is a little scary. If he comes in at like 6'1.5", 240, I'm not going to be thrilled by that. But
why is that?
You don't see many short tight ends succeed. Name the last one you can think of. It's kind of how I felt. Yeah. So, like they need the height at that position for what they're asked to do.
In the middle of the field and stuff.
Yeah, you could see him be exclusively a slot type tight end, and I don't love that for his usage because, as Jesse was saying, then you're not on the field all the time. If you can't be every inline down tight end, then that worries me a little bit. But we'll see that in a couple weeks.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think about that. He does not look all that tall out there.
No, he does not. He looks big.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely jacked.
Yeah.
But the vertical can make up for that a bit. Mm-hmm. But it's not just he's great in contested catch. It's not just the contested catch that you worry about. It's the leverage that being taller creates. In those situations. That's definitely going to be something to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you can get lost in the NFL if you're not tall enough through the middle of the field. I know we see a lot of these short quarterbacks struggle middle of the field, like short intermediate area. It was having a guy like George Kittle that's huge, Kyle Pitts that's huge. It helps a lot to get those short, those intermediate passes where you just get a catch for 7 yards. I mean, that feeds tight end production for fantasy is getting those little short catches.
Yeah. If he goes anywhere in the first round, but especially top 15, the team's going to prioritize him and have him on the field and scheme for him. So I'm not too worried about it as long as he doesn't go somewhere ridiculous like the Jets or somewhere else that has a really good tight end blocking him. I don't see why they would do that though.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think about his yak, Jesse? I think that's one thing we didn't bring up at all this whole time.
Oh, I love it. He breaks tackles. Yeah. You're right. I forgot to mention that he is a tackle breaker. So that's something that you don't see out of some of these tight. Like Loveland is not a tackle breaking tight end, and this guy is. He will beast you to the ground.
And he'll juke you too, which is fun to watch as a guy of that size. He'll make your ankle shake and then run you over after that.
Yeah, and that's something that to be said for the athleticism. It's not just track and field athleticism. He uses it on the field. He knows that he's a bad man, and he uses it.
Yeah, very good feet near out of bounds as well. Very good awareness, body awareness. He's good.
They look for him in the red zone. That's where I've seen a lot of his action because he didn't get a lot of action this year. So you do see them look for him in the end zone. He makes plays. There was one ridiculous play that he made, like with one hand falling. Like I think he was on
side of the end zone. That was an absurd catch. If you want to watch anything about him, just to get enjoyment, just type in Kenyon Sadiq one hand catch. It's an end zone catch. It's one of those plays. Is like, how does anybody make that catch?
Yeah, exactly. So he's definitely one of those types of players. So he'll be a red zone threat for sure.
Yeah. That's why I really want him to go to a QB, not scared to throw to him.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, this has been your 2026 Rookie Prospect Profile of the Week. Next week, we're going to be doing Jordan Tyson. So tune back in for Jordan Tyson.
Nice. That's my man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the front office. The lights are low, the boards are lit, and the Dynasty clock is ticking. From the heart of the startup draft to the championship throne, one crew rules the long game. Give it up for the undisputed architects of empire, Dynasty.